Hi, in this video I'll be showing you this. It's the aicook EP2305 yogurt maker. And what I want to do today is to show you around the product, some of the features and benefits that it offers. But also what I want to do is to actually make some yogurt with it. I'll be honest, I'm quite new to this. I've not actually made any yogurt myself. As a family we do eat quite a bit, so I think it'd be really interesting to try it and give it a go. All I'd normally say, just before we start the video, is to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up. What I do is I normally talk about domestic appliances. There's quite a few other items that I cover, things like tech, vacuum cleaners, so there's quite a few different types of videos I cover, some more domestic appliances like this. So give us a quick subscribe and then we'll carry on. Now there are quite a few advantages to owning a yogurt maker like this. I suppose the first one is the cost. So once you bought the yogurt maker, then the actual process and the cost for making the yogurt isn't that expensive. I have bought some ingredients, and I suppose the main things you need are, you do need some yogurt to get it going, and then milk on top of that. But apart from that, all you really need is some of the other ingredients, things like fruit, to go with it. But if you just like the yogurt plain, then the only cost really is for a little bit of natural yogurt and the milk, and then you're ready to get going. Personally, I quite like my yogurt quite thick. What you will find is, depending on the type of milk that you use with it, that can depend on how thick the yogurt is at the end. Now another huge advantage, apart from the cost saving of making your own yogurt, is that you know what's gone into it. So first of all, just to cover the dimensions of the yogurt maker, because what you need to do is you need to make sure it will fit either in the cupboard where you want to put it or on the worktop. So as far as the size of it, so it's 24 centimetres, or around 9.5 inches wide. And the height of it, if I include the handle as well, you're looking around 15 centimetres or just under 6 inches. And the main sleeve that's attached to the unit is around 88 centimetres long or 34 inches. So it's always good to have a good length of lead to work with. So I really like the design of this. I like the fact that it's a stainless steel finish around here. It's just a nice compact design, it's not too big. But as I say, just make sure it will fit either on your worktop or in the cupboard when you want to store it. Also with this, you do get 7 of these. So the main advantage, these are made out of glass. With these you get a screw top as well. Size wise, you're looking at around 150 millilitres of yogurt that you'll be able to get in these, or just under 3/4 of a cup. What we do recommend is just give these a quick wash before you use it. I suppose it's the same with anything like this. If you're going to be putting food in it, then give it a quick wash and then you're ready to go. So now I'll show you around the yogurt maker. We'll get going with a quick recipe. Now there are a lot of recipes online to show you how to make yogurt. There are many different ways of doing it, and I'm sure after you've done it 4 or 5 times, then hopefully you will have mastered it. So this really is one recipe that I've found that seems to get really good feedback. Now as far as the milk and yogurt, again, there are many different types that you can buy to get it going. First of all, as far as the milk, I've decided to go with some whole milk. I must admit, normally in our household we tend to use semi-skimmed, but I have read, and apparently it is pretty obvious, that the higher the fat content within the milk, then the thicker the yogurt will be. To be fair, as a family we quite like thick yogurts. I'm not really one for thin runny yogurts, so I'd rather go for something like this. So that's why I've decided to go for the whole milk. Also with the yogurt, it does say in the instructions that you do need to go for a yogurt that contains live active cultures. So I've just decided to go with this yogurt today. Again, there are many yogurts available. To get it going, just make sure it's plain yogurt. You don't want anything that's got any flavouring, or especially no fruit already in it. So just make sure you go for a plain yogurt. But again, have a look in the instructions, because it does say on the side or on the back that it contains live active cultures. And once you've got those, then we're ready to get going. So first of all, what we need to do is to heat the milk up. And this needs to go up to around 82 degrees C, or around 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And the advantage of doing this, I'll just pop the hob on here. The advantage of doing this, first of all, it kills off any of the bacteria that's within the milk. Also, it can make it thicker as well, so that's really what I'm aiming for, a nice thick yogurt. This, once it's up to temperature, it wants to be like that for probably around 15-20 minutes. So ideally you want something like this, a digital thermometer. What this will do is this helps you to maintain the temperature of the milk at the moment. Once it has heated up, then ideally what you want to do is to leave it for around 15 to 20 minutes to cool down, and that needs to go down to around 37 degrees C or around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And then once you've done that, then we're ready to pop the milk into the yogurt maker. So the milk itself has actually heated up, and I've just let it cool down. So it's taken probably around half an hour, 40 minutes to cool back down to temperature. As you can see, it's down to 30-60 degrees C. So it is recommended to go anywhere between sort of 35 and 40 degrees C. But you will notice that there's quite a bit of skin on there. Don't worry about that. All I'm going to do is just put that to one side. I know some people will tend to leave it in there, and then that can make it creamier. It is a personal opinion. All I've done at the moment is I've just got rid of the skin. But the next thing we need to do is to pour a little bit of the milk into a separate jug. I'm just making a bit of a mess everywhere. And then with yogurt, or starter as they're calling it, put around, it's between 3 and 4 tablespoons in. So I'll try this with around 4 heaped tablespoons. It is very much trial and error, as I say, because this is the first time I've used this. So just give it a good mix in. And again, this is the yogurt that's got the live active cultures. And apparently it's around this temperature that it can really work the best. And then once you've done that and mixed it all in, then what you do is you pour it back into the full mixture there. So let's just give that a good stir. And then once you've done that, then what you need to do is get the individual, just get these individual containers, take the lid off, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the milk from here and divide it between the 7 containers. So what I've done is I've poured the yogurt and milk mixture into the glass jars evenly, and now what you do is just pop the lid on. Leave the individual lids off. What you don't want to do is to put the lids on. That's mainly for when it's completed. So what we'll do now is if we just turn it on, so you've got the button on the front here, and what I'm pleased to see is it's a really nice clear LED display. Apart from the on button, what you want to do is you want to set the time. Now what you can do is you can just go back to the start. So it goes up in 1 hour increments, so you can start at 1 hour if you want to, and it does go all the way up to 14 hours. That could be I suppose what I could do is I could do a couple of tries, but for this demonstration then I'm actually going to try it at 8 hours. This is the recipe that I've been following. And then once you've set it to that time, if you want to, you can reduce it, but let's just go back up to the 8. And then once you've done that, then just press the start button, and that will just count down. So as you can see, it started at 8. So really the best thing for me now is to leave it for the 8 hours. I could find after the 8 hours that if it's not quite as thick as I want, then I could carry it on for a bit. But as I say, I'm going to leave it and then see how we get on. So I just wanted to give you a half-time update on the yogurt. As you can see, this has been on for, well, it's around 4 hours now. But I just wanted to show you that even though it's only halfway there, it's already pretty solid. So I'm really pleased with how that's coming on. But I don't want to leave the lid off for too long. Also, just to know that the temperature of the outside of the yogurt maker is actually really cool. It's something that I suppose, especially if you've got children, you want to be aware of if the temperature of the unit gets hot. I know some appliances, things like toasters, can get quite hot on the outside. Now the yogurt maker's finished. It's been on for the full 8 hours. And what I've done is I've actually left them for a couple of hours just to cool down a bit. It is recommended, ideally before you try it, to let it cool down completely. Even though it's been cooling for a couple of hours, they're still a little bit warm. So really what I should do is take them out, let them cool down, put the lids on, put them in the fridge, probably overnight. And apparently, according to the recipe I followed, the longer you leave them in the fridge, and especially to cool down properly, the thicker it will be. So that was really my aim, to get a nice thick yogurt, because we really like that. But I just want to show you. So this is how it's ended up. So I'm really pleased with that. And well, while it's on the spoon, that's really nice. I'm really impressed with how tasty it is. Also, it does taste really fresh. A lot of other yogurts that we have, they have quite a few sugars contained within them as well. And the advantage is, but because we've made our own yogurt now, then if we wanted to make a second batch, then we can actually use some of this yogurt to put towards the next batch. So even though I actually bought a yogurt that contained the live active cultures, then in theory we wouldn't have to do that next time we make a batch, because I could use 3 or 4 tablespoons from this batch. So again, I'm really impressed, and I hope you've been impressed with this. And if you are, then I have provided a link below to show you where to get one at a competitive price. So I hope you enjoyed this video on the aicook EP2305 yogurt maker. Please give us a thumbs up on a YouTube video, click to subscribe and leave any comments below. If you have got any questions on the yogurt maker, I'm sure there might be things that I've missed on it, or if you're not too sure, then just pop it in the comments. If you have got one of these, then let me know what you think about it. Or if you've got any other recipe ideas, because I always appreciate any other recipes to try, then pop it in the comments and I'll get back to you if there's any questions. Thanks for watching.